This Community News Spotlight is being brought to you by
At Teche Health, it's easier than ever to take control of your health. With Saturday appointments and flexible hours, you can get the care you need when you need it. Schedule an appointment today at techehealth.org.
This is Howard Castay, General Manager of KBZE. With me here on Zoom is Miss Karla Vappie. She is the Director of School-Based Health Clinics at Teche Health, formerly Teche Action Clinic. She is also a mental health and does a lot of mental health advocacy as well as behavioral health advocacy for Teche Health. And she's got a special event coming up on April 15th at Bayou Bend called How Are We Really Doing? And boy, is that a loaded question. Tell us a little bit about the presentation you're going to have.
Absolutely. So it is part of Bayou Bend's regular Lunch and Learn, formerly called Brown Bag Series. And they asked me to do a little presentation about self-care, resiliency, coping, general mental health awareness. And so after going over a couple of ideas and titles, that's what I came up with, is for us to talk about how are we really doing? Because I think sometimes we put on brave faces and we can even start to fib a little to ourselves about how we are doing. So I'm hoping to send a message of acknowledging how we are really doing, whether that be good, bad, ugly, mixed. But then, of course, always using our coping skills to rise from there. So that's going to be the focus of the talk. And I realize that's a lot of information to get through, but usually people are very receptive to that. And I hope to have some engagement from them. It's typically not me just speaking, but I like to have conversations with people so that I can speak to them individually and specifically about what they might be experiencing. And I enjoy it very much.
And it sounds like a great, great, great seminar and an opportunity for a lot of people to just exhale and
Yeah.
have a namaste moment because Lord knows we all need that. What time is it going to be for?
So it is from 11:30 to 12:30, and I know that there's a group of regulars that attend. I understand, yes, a lunch is provided by Bayou Bend, a light lunch, and we do stick to that time frame. So if anyone feels like they want to come out for an hour and just get together with some folks. This is a time when we need some connection. We need to know we're not alone in this journey. We're all experiencing it in real time, the same way. So I'd love to have everyone come out and share some time with me.
Man, that sounds awesome. And if somebody needs help or someone to talk to, who would they call at Test Action Clinic to get that help?
Well, so what I usually tell my audiences is if I'm there in the room, they can give me their name and number right then. And I forward that on to our Franklin Clinic if it is someone local. I work with the PSRs, frontline staff, in getting that appointment scheduled. And I usually make sure I see that process through. If someone's not comfortable doing that, they can call into the Franklin Clinic or any of our other clinics if they're on the other end of the parish in Morgan City. But here in Franklin, it's 337-828-2550. And all they need to do is tell whoever answers that phone that they are interested in getting scheduled for a behavioral health appointment. I do like to warn folks that they will be asked a couple of questions. So they'll be asked, have you ever been to the clinic before? So that they can look up and see if there's current paperwork. They may ask for some basic demographics over the phone and then make arrangements for the client to get the paperwork to be completed. But it's very, very easy. And if people, want to call me directly because they need maybe a little more assistance with that process, it's 337-828-2550, and my direct extension is 2236. And I'll do what I can.
That is awesome. And I know a lot of people, a lot of people joke about it. A lot of people also are self-conscious because they don't want to share their feelings. And I know Teche does have telehealth to where you can have a private conversation in your home
Absolutely.
and you don't have to go anywhere.
Absolutely. And of course, the pandemic required that we provide those services via telehealth to increase access to folks in rural areas. We know transportation can be a problem. So if someone has a device that it has the capability, such as a smartphone or an Android phone, they can actually have an appointment on their phone, and it's pretty much like we're doing right now. You see the person live and in color. You're having a conversation with your provider. But for those who may not have a device, we do have a telehealth room here at the Franklin Clinic. So if a person can get here to the clinic, we have a private room with a laptop set up, and they can access services with the behavioral health provider there.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just so great to know that Teche does provide this service because these are challenging times for all of us.
Well, they
This
are
is
very challenging times. There's no rule book for this. We've never experienced these times. We're trying to create the playbook as we go along. And I do want to say to those folks that get a little intimidated when we start talking about telehealth services, um, I don't want people to be intimidated by that because it really is exactly like a FaceTime call. And I know when I'm in Walmart and Super One and other stores, I'm passing by people who have their FaceTime call and they're shopping and talking to the person via FaceTime. That's what it is. And it increases access. So I want people not to be intimidated by telehealth services.
right. And I want people to come to your seminar
Yeah,
because I think it'll be delightful in that you're going to give a lot of people hope in this time because a lot of people just need to relax and chill and realize that life is short and learn how to breathe.
absolutely.
Yeah, will you be teaching any of that on how to breathe properly or anything
I
like that?
absolutely always do. I usually start with asking everyone to take a deep breath, and I demonstrate how to do that so that we can settle in and clear our minds. And I also want to let folks know who might be a little bit intimidated about how the presentation is. Mr. Howard, you know as well. I don't use a lot of jargon. I don't use, all of the fancy words. It's not just me talking. I engage folks to open up. And so it really is just like a visit. It's just like a conversation, but I can give you some information in the middle of that conversation.
That sounds awesome. So there you have it. Next Wednesday, April 15th at Bayou Bend, starting at what, 11:30.
11:30.
How are we really doing with Miss Karla Vappie, the Director of School-Based Clinics, mental health advocate at Teche Health, formerly Teche Action Clinic? Everybody, if you've got some time, please come. And if you don't have some time, make some time. This is a good lunch appointment that you need to schedule because it will be, confined to the time. It's not going to go overtime. Carla's not going to sit there and tell you about random topics or what was on her grocery list last week. She is going to talk about how you can handle life right now, and everybody needs to get some pointers on that. I don't think anybody is strong enough to walk through life at this moment. So, prayer and getting help from great folks like Karla will help you do it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.